Hey everybody, welcome to Technically Unraveled. I am Kristen Fehrenbach, your Senior Director of Microsoft Go-to-Market here at Pax8. Thanks so much for joining us today. Really excited to get to our main topic of all things NCE. But I want to make sure that you are liking, sharing, subscribing. I know that we have our YouTube, just in case you don't actually get to be with us on the day when we're live. You can always go back and watch it on demand. Let's go ahead and jump right into our updates for today. So this past week, our EMEA team did a phenomenal job on our Biz Apps Bootcamp. So you have one more chance because our North America Bootcamp is going to be November 14th and 15th. Different time zone, different times, all of that good stuff. But just in case, you can always still register. We still have space for you. It is coming up quick though, so please make sure that you do register and try to block out as much time as you can because the recordings don't get sent out, so you have to be there live. All right, keeping on the Dynamics train here, we have a new Dynamics landing page and blog. Now, we're doing a ton of work in Dynamics here at Pax8 because it is an incredible cloud for you as partners to bring on as an additional workload. If you want to learn more about that, I would really highly suggest going to this landing page. It gives you that quick rundown. Matt Batterby wrote an excellent blog. It goes into more detail. And if you want to learn even more than that, please go to the Microsoft Hub, register for a Dynamics demystification. We would love to spend a little bit more time with you, just going through how can Dynamics really accelerate your business as an entirety. All right. I'm going to hit on this one very lightly because Ashley Moretti is going to go into this probably in more detail with more things and all the stuff. But there are NCE promotions. So Microsoft released the latest, newest promotion guide for November. So it's time to start thinking about that transition from maybe legacy to NCE. It's not so scary, y'all. We can do it. Pax8's here for you. I'm going to let Ashley talk more about that in just a little while. I hinted to the Enablement Hub, but if you have not gone on and actually gone through all of the Microsoft enablement, there's a lot. And we used to kind of have it a little over here and a little over there, but we have gathered it all into one singular place. So if you've not gone in, please do. And one of the big front tiles, it's going to talk about your Cloud Ascent data. Please, 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 please go in and do this course because if you don't know what Cloud Ascent data is, it is free. It's already located in your partner center. It's going to give you your current customers and the propensity to purchase new things. So let's build your business with people that you already have relationships with. It's a great tool. We do some really cool stuff with it here at Pax8, and I want you to go learn more about it. And if you have any questions, please reach out to your account team. They're always there to support you. So instead of going through more updates, we're going to bring on Ashley. How are you doing today, girl?
I'm good. How are you, Kristen?
I am doing good. So thank you for coming back on the show. I know you've been here a couple of times at this point, but for those who might not have met you, they might not have joined the Microsoft monthly updates before, just tell us who you are and what you do here at Pax8.
Yeah, so Ashley Moretti, I am the director over our Microsoft programs team, and I cover Microsoft programs globally. So my job and my team's job is to make sure we're the subject matter experts in all things Microsoft, so that way you as partners know what you need to do to make the best out of your partner membership.
Absolutely. And I mean, between Ashley and I, anything that's got an acronym, we just push on over to Ashley. She's got them all. She's got GDAP, she's got NCE. So I appreciate you jumping on because NCE is a lot to unpack, Ash.
It is.
So before we dive in too far, I want to, first and foremost, can you just give us a level playing field of NCE and just kind of a quick overview of what it is?
Yeah, so NCE stands, we probably should get away from the acronyms on this call, stands for New Commerce Experience. And what that means is it is the new Microsoft purchasing platform. So you'll hear me talk a lot today about legacy versus NCE. Legacy is the old platform where Microsoft transactions used to go through, and they had their own policies and regulations. And about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years now, for seat-based offers, which is Modern Workplace and Dynamics, Microsoft started to transition off of that legacy platform and start provisioning orders through the new commerce experience. So essentially, all you need to know is that it's a different platform in which your licenses sit on, but with that, there comes different policies and regulations that partners will need to follow, and we'll jump on into that here in a minute.
I mean, I feel like I had to really write down my thoughts here because NCE has really just taken over the past couple of years because there's so many things that can get really lucrative here, Ashley. But in particular, I want to talk about, we heard that Legacy is going to be retiring here in January and everything's going to be moving to NCE. But what does that mean as like a forced or an auto migration? What does that mean for partners?
Yeah, so when it came time for Microsoft to launch a new commerce experience platform, it first launched with Azure back in, I think, like 2020, if I'm not mistaken. And slowly we moved all of Azure Legacy to Azure Plan, which sits on the new commerce experience. Then in January of 2021, Microsoft launched New Commerce Experience for seat-based offers, and that's your Modern Workplace and your Dynamics products. And since then, it's been optional for partners to move to the New Commerce Experience or not. So we do still have a lot of business that's sitting on that legacy platform. And so starting January of 2024, so just a few short months from now, Microsoft's going to be starting an auto migration of all of that legacy commercial business and moving it to NCE at its legacy renewal date. And the reason I say commercial is, and we'll dive into this, is there's a little bit of a different process for any of your public sector products, which is that government, nonprofit, and education. So commercial is really anything else. And again, that will be transitioning in an auto migration, meaning Microsoft will do it for you if you don't act prior to your renewal date after January 2024.
So if somebody's renewal date is, let's say, in December, what happens then, Ashley? Because we're still before that. I mean, I feel like I don't want to go down the rabbit hole here, but if it's in December, what is the difference if it's December or February?
You should probably go play a lotto ticket if you want to remain on legacy, because you get to remain for another year. No, but this is a great question. So the actual migration Microsoft announced yesterday starts on January 11th. So anything that has a renewal date prior to January 11th will sit on NCE until that renewal date comes around next year. And the nice thing about legacy subscriptions is that when you have a parent product, or what we call a base product, and then you add on those add-ons or child relationships to that base, those add-ons inherit the renewal dates of the base product. So your entire let's say portfolio, your entire relationship
Your
between
stack.
base, yeah, your stack. I don't know how it's like so confusing. Like, how do you explain it? But everything that's associated together actually all has the same renewal date. So Microsoft makes it super easy, and everything will move together. And the reason for this is to ensure that sales remain intact as we split from the legacy platform and into NCE, because those two platforms don't talk to each other. So we've got to be mindful of the migration.
Got it. So you hinted at this, and I mean, we have a ton of business that's already on NCE, but there's a difference between commercial and public sector. So I know public sector is government, EDU, and nonprofit, but when it comes to NCE, how is what does that mean, and how do we actually differentiate these two?
Yeah, so if you are a business that doesn't sell into a certain segment, the segment being public sector, so broken up into government, education, and nonprofit, your business or your licensing is considered commercial SMB, commercial enterprise, but still commercial. And so the migration that's happening in starting January of 2024 is only for the commercial products. And so the migration for public sector will actually start in July of 2024. And so there is a difference in timeline here. Now, what to be mindful of is, remember I said, the legacy platform and the NCE platform don't talk to one another. And so with that, if you have a legacy base that is a public sector and you needed to add an add-on, but there was not an add-on for the public sector and the only option was the commercial option, now you have what we call a public sector commercial mix relationship. And because the systems don't talk to each other, those commercial products will actually follow the legacy migration for public sector. So again, everything will move together to ensure that services are remain intact. So with this migration starting in January, it's for all subscriptions that are commercial only that are associated with other commercial products. So if, again, they have a mix of commercial and public sector, they will not migrate and they will follow a different transition plan starting July of 2024.
You know, if they could have picked a different, instead of January and July, because those get me. And I mess them up every time, Ashley.
If anybody watched our webinar on Monday, my goodness, I was not feeling good, had a severe migraine, but was important to make sure that we present this information to our partners. Kept fumbling the Julys and the Januaries back and forth, and it was just a tongue twist. And, hopefully you guys followed. But if you didn't, commercial only January.
Okay.
PubSec, what we call PubSec, public sector only July. Commercial public sector mix July.
Okay, I like that breakdown. That was okay. There we go. Because between the Januaries, the Julys, the acronyms, it gets a little wild. So, Ashley, if I'm a partner and you're recommending something to me about this auto migration or the forced migration, what are the key things that I should be doing right now to get ahead?
Yeah, so we just launched a massive campaign in market for partners and prospects of Pax8 around the auto migration. I don't like to call it a forced migration. I think that's a little doomsday. So I am very positive and call it an auto migration, but people have their feelings and will think of it one way or another.
I can't stop. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it is being forced. You're not wrong, but it's just an auto transition, right? And so with that, we launched a campaign to make sure that partners are aware of what decisions Microsoft is going to make on behalf of them if they don't act. And it's really important as a partner. This is your business, your MSP, your livelihood, and we want to make sure that you know and you are in control of the decisions that are being made regarding your Microsoft business and your seat-based subscriptions. So with that, Pax8's made it really easy for you to go in and check what your business looks like, so we can check what your renewal dates are for the legacy and the platform. You can see if there are migratable offers to NCE already for your legacy business. We can show you kind of what that plan should be with your account team and really start to allow you to take onus and ensure that your business is migrated in the way that you and your customers want it to be. So if I could give any piece of advice, it would be to start having those conversations with your customers now and talk about doing a migration if your subscriptions are eligible to new commerce experience before Microsoft does it for you. And the reason for this is Microsoft's going to make it easy. They're just going to switch your business, but you have no say in what your business is going to look like. Microsoft's going to move everything to an annual commitment, meaning you're paying monthly today, but you will be tied up in an annual commitment starting when the auto migration happens. They will mirror what your billing terms are. So if you pay up front today, you'll pay up front on NCE. If you pay monthly, you'll pay monthly on NCE. But those annual commitments are restrictive, right? You're locked in. You can't make any changes outside of the renewal window, which is a 7-day period. And we know mistakes happen. And so again, if you need to be on that flexible option, which is the month-to-month option, you pay a little bit more, but you need to self-migrate in order to have that that flexibility prior to the Microsoft auto migrations. Additionally, Microsoft during high renewal time or high volume time, well, we could see lags in the provisioning, and your subscriptions won't migrate on the day that you want them to, or they're supposed to, if Microsoft is in charge. So by going in and scheduling your migrations ahead of time, it will allow you to ensure that you get the commitment start date that you want and is desired. And again, I said the buzzword schedule. Microsoft released what's called, Pax8 released, it's our tool called Schedule Order Manager. It's brand new on the platform, just a couple months old. And this allows you to go in and schedule multiple actions on a subscription. So you can say, I want it to move to NCE on this date. And then maybe 2 days later, I want it to increase the seat count as well, because we're hiring somebody new in the beginning of the year. So again, my biggest piece of advice is do the migration yourself, but work with your account team at Pax8 if you have any questions on the decisions you should be making in order to get those migrations done ahead of your legacy renewal.
You know, it's funny. I try to watch what's going on in the chat in the meantime, and Elliot is saying that him trying to understand NCE would also give him a migraine. So he's on the same page with you, girlfriend. So there's a lot of nuances here, and I like, you know, one, having a tool, Schedule Order Manager, built in directly to the platform that's going to allow them as partners to go in and make sure that it's done on their own terms. That's fantastic. And then also having the account teams just to be able to help plan and say like, hey, you know what? Is this the best practice? Do we see that happen a lot right now, Ashley, where partners are coming in and they're saying, hey, I think this is what I want to do, but want to bounce the idea off of you to make sure?
Yeah. I mean, our account teams at Pax8 consist of, and it just depends what region you reside in or doing business with Pax8, but always an account manager. You always have someone who's dedicated to overlook and support you with your entire business portfolio, not just your Microsoft business. But then there are what's called solution consultants or GTM managers in regions that are your Microsoft experts. Like, they are the ones that are familiar with all the licensing, all the program changes, and they can help you map this out. And so they can also walk through with you exactly how to self-migrate. Now, we did just film some videos on the self-migration, and we'll get those up on our Pax8 blog, hopefully within the next few days, so make sure to look for that. But we make it simple. You can do the scheduled order manager, or you can go exactly into the subscription and with the click of a few buttons, move your business from legacy to NCE today. We auto-populate what those equivalents on NCE are, and it only gives you that option when you go in and hit edit subscription and then upgrade. So we're helping you do the work. You don't have to research products. You don't have to be the expert in the new availabilities of NCE. You just click manage that subscription, upgrade, make sure you set your desired billing and commitment terms, how many seats, and then go. Like, you hit I acknowledge and you're there. You're on NCE.
All right. Okay. So you're making it a little less migrainey, a little less scary. So you hit on the blog. We've talked about some of these, but I mean, as Pax8, I know that we have a slew of resources that are dedicated to NCE because it is so complex. So I know you named a couple of them, but can you give me just, a handful that partners, if they don't know about them, like let's make sure that they know after this call?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, if I give you one thing to remember after this call, the Microsoft Hub and Academy. We have an entire section for the legacy to NCE migration in there. That's where you'll find a walking deck. That's where you'll find the guide. The blog, if you just literally Google Pax8 Blog for NCE, it will be the first thing that pops up. Again, the videos are going to be in Academy. They're going to be on the blog. So if you don't know where to start in the hub. In the hub, it will direct you to different resources, and those resources we link to the blog. So you can't go wrong in the Academy hub. And if you're not familiar with Academy, there's a bunch of other things out there besides the Microsoft stuff as well. So I just want to plug for all of our other vendors. There's so many resources for you to learn about what you can do to take control of your business, but start at the Microsoft tile.
I like that. Because I know there's a security hub. We've got our Microsoft one. There's just so many resources that are in there. And I mean, I know our teams, actually, we've got just a calendar of what are we going to be adding to Academy next. So there's a lot. More's coming. Stay tuned. But I'm going to kind of...
It's free. Also, we didn't even talk about that. This is free.
That's fair. But you have to be a Pax8 partner. That's it.
Correct. It's free if you're a Pax8 partner, so all the more reason to become a Pax8 partner. But I think that's also important to hit on. And any employee of yours at your company, because you're a partner, if they have credentials to log into the Pax8 marketplace, they will also have access to the hub. So if you have a new employee who's joining you, who is probably like, send them in. Yeah. What is NCE? Like, take the basic NCE course, and then, okay, the migration, go take the migration materials and review them. So sorry, I just wanted to plug that because we build these materials because we're passionate about supporting you as the MSP. And again, the whole point of our campaign right now, when us talking about the migration, is how do you take charge of your own business and set up yourself and your customers for success? And the enablement materials are part of that journey, and it's free. Who doesn't love a good free something? So.
No, I love the plug. It's super, super important. And I think something that, some partners might not be fully bought into, or they might not know yet. I mean, there's more money to be earned with Microsoft than just your margin. And that's based on incentives. So Ashley, please talk to me a little bit about how do partners earn incentives through MCI? And I mean, maybe we'll start with what is MCI? I know. But tell me how partners earn incentives. That's why it's yours.
Why it's mine. So Microsoft Commerce incentives, right? So similar to NCE, New Commerce Experience, the incentives for the Microsoft Commerce Experience, is the program that allows you to get paid on the products that you sell that are in the Microsoft ecosystem. So this is different than the margin that you have negotiated with Pax8. This is what Microsoft is also giving you. So it supplements the additional income that you could be earning on the Microsoft additional revenue. In order to be eligible for MCI, earn these incentives, you do have to earn at least one solution partner designation from Microsoft, or brand new as of October, we're bringing back those legacy competencies. So have a silver or gold partner membership. And as soon as you have those, you'll be one of those, you'll be invited to enroll in the MCI program in Partner Center automatically. And it's just really important that you complete the sign up process because Legacy was not eligible to earn incentives starting January 1st of this year, January 1, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Any partner who was still on Legacy was no longer earning incentives and rebates for selling those products. But now that they're moving to NCE, we should talk again about why you want to invest in your business and get enrolled in MCI and earn a designation or a silver or gold benefits package, because you can start making money again. For example, Modern Workplace Core, which means the majority of the Modern Workplace products, partners can receive an additional 3.75% back on selling that. And that's monthly, right? Like every month you're selling those licenses. And if they're on an annual commitment, you'll get those for 12 months, right? Because the commitment is 12 months long. So I know that the
stack and stack and stack. So I mean, you've got margin, you've got incentives, you've got
raining money,
you've got rebates.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. I wish there was like a raining money button that would just happen in here. That would be ideal right now.
Claire, where's my money gone? Like, are we making that pop up on screen? I'm sure. We'll bring that next time. I'll come next time with the money gone. But we know that there's not a lot of margin on Microsoft products, and this is a way to drive more revenue, which means when you're driving more revenue, more business, more people you can hire, and really just continue to grow your partnership with end customers and being able to help them do their Microsoft business better.
I also want to hit on, which you did, Ashley, the designations. Absolutely. We've had some of our partners already go towards these designations. We heard loud and clear that some of our partners can't get these designations. Maybe you don't have enough employees to get the certifications. There's a slew of reasons, right? But we heard you loud and clear. We're continuing to pass that information back over to Microsoft. Really excited that there's an additional year for silver and gold competencies, because this is really, really, really important. So excited to see this is back. Keep funneling us this information. This is why we want you to join our live webinars, put them in the chat. Like, what else can we do to make sure we're passing that information back to Microsoft for you? So, Ashley, I need to know, or at least I need an idea of when you think, okay? When is Microsoft going to release additional information about public sector? Because I know that's separate from the other information that's going on.
Yeah, so Microsoft teased that like mid-November that they would have another Partner Center announcement. So if you are also not familiar with Partner Center announcements, Google Partner Center announcements. It's literally like a list of announcements that also come funneled through your Partner Center, but it's a live web page. And so we think maybe within the next week or two, Microsoft will provide more details. However, yesterday, Microsoft hosted their CSP technical training for November. These also happen once a month, always the first Wednesday or so. And I think we're going to drop a link in somewhere. There was great information around the auto migration and what that's going to look like for both commercial and public sector. So I would start there, give you some homework. I'm sorry, but this is really important. I know you're not in school anymore. Maybe you are, but like, do your homework, right? Know what to do. Take control of your business. It's your MSP. Go watch that. It's free. I love free. I didn't already say that. But it's a free webinar hosted by Microsoft. Brent, he's the one that presented. He's amazing. Want to give him a shout out because he helps us make sure we know what's going on all the time when it comes to NCE. And it will allow you to start to get a feel of what the auto migration would look like if you let Microsoft do it for you. And I have a feeling after you watch this, you're going to be like, I want to take charge of my business. I'm going to move early. And you don't have to move months early. Move 2 days early, right? Just move early to ensure you're set up. And then we'll share with the latest announcements around what else comes out. So check out our NCE blog. You will see the last time it was updated. That's how you know. And then also, I'm going to make a plug for myself and my team. We'll be putting it in the newsletter for December. So if you are not already getting the Microsoft newsletter, please go visit our webpage and review it. It's where we put all things Microsoft related to the partner program for you partners to keep up with, because there's a ton. And it's a static link. So once it gets published every month, you can just go back to that URL if you're a Pax8 partner, because we do have it gated, and review it at any time. And you can share that with your employees, right? We make sure that you have access to everything you need to know. That newsletter goes out the first Thursday of every month. So then next one's going to be coming in a few short weeks here. But my team puts a lot of hard work to make sure that you know what to do with your Microsoft business.
Ashley, I feel like we've gone through a ton. I know we're coming up on time here, but I mean, we've gone through a ton of just really valuable resources. So first off, I want to thank you and your team for gathering all of this information each and every day, because I know it's not all published in one singular place from Microsoft. So I know that you and your team are scavenging around, gathering everything. It's in the blog, it's in the newsletter. Want to make sure that you're joining the Microsoft Monthly
in the hub.
I feel like in the hub. So let's say that between those four, you should have most of your information, right, Ashley?
Right.
Okay, good stuff. We're going to have you back because we need about 18 hours to cover NCE. So thank you so much for taking the time today.
Of course. Thank you for having me, Kristen. Always a pleasure, and can't wait to be back.
All right. Well, NCE round 2, we can check this one off, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure that you tune in this next week. We're going to have Steve Brooks and Matt Batterby. Looking forward to it. We'll see you then.